in class 10. Now let's start with Act 4 Scene 1, lines number 178. Fine. So yesterday the Duke asked Portia, who was disguised as a lawyer, is she acquainted with the cause of the dispute? Portia answered, I am informed thoroughly of the case. Which is the merchant and which is the Jew? Now Portia replied, yes, I have been fully informed of the case. Clear? Now which is at present, who are present here? Who is the merchant and who is the Jew? Duke, Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth. So Duke ordered Antonio and Shylock, stand up and step forward, both of you. Portia asked Shylock, is your name Shylock? Shylock is my name. Portia, of a strange nature is the suit you follow, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. Impugn means to find fault with someone. Fine. So what she said, of a strange nature is the suit you follow. She said that the lawsuit which you have started, it is of strange kind, it is of strange nature, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. Though the lawsuit, the case you have filed, it is of strange kind, yet it is in such a form that Venetian law cannot accuse you. The Venetian law cannot find fault with you of any legal error. Clear? Why she is saying so? Because Shylock has the document signed by Antonio. Then Portia asked Antonio, you stand within his danger, do you know? She asked Antonio. She addressed Antonio, said, you are the man who is facing a danger to your life because of this Jew's power over you. Are you not? Antonio, he says so. Yes. That is what this Jew claims. Portia, do you confess the bond? So she asked Antonio, do you admit that the bond is a genuine one? That it was signed by you? Antonio, I do. He said, yes, I confess. Then must the Jew be merciful? She said, okay, if this is the case, then the Jew must show some mercy towards you. Shylock, on what compulsion must I? Tell me that. Shylock said, okay, so tell me, under what compulsion should I show mercy to him? How it is obligatory upon me to show mercy? Portia, now children, this is very important. Look at it carefully. Here Portia is talking about the mercy, the quality of mercy. Fine. What she says, the quality of mercy, it's not strained. Strained means forced. Clear? The quality of mercy is not strained. So she said that mercy is a quality that is felt. Clear? That cannot be shown under any compulsion. It droppeth as gentle rain, as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. Clear? So mercy, it is shown by human being as naturally. Clear? And as spontaneously as the gentle drop of rains fall from the sky above down to the ground below, as the rain drops comes from the sky to the earth. Again, it's a natural process. Similarly, the mercy is shown by the human being as naturally as the raindrops that falls from the sky above to the ground below. It is twice blessed. Now she said mercy is twice blessed. It blessed both. How it is twice blessed? It blesseth him that gives and him that takes, because mercy, it blesses the one who is showing the mercy. It is a blessing to him who shows this feeling of mercy, and it is a blessing to him who is benefited by it, upon whom the mercy is shown. Both are blessed. So mercy is twice blessed. Is blessed the giver as well as the taker. It's mightiest in the mighty. It's mightiest in the mightiest. It is the most powerful feeling in those who have the highest authority. Mightiest in the mightiest means it is the most powerful feeling in the heart of the kings, in the heart of those who have highest authorities. It becomes the throne monarch better than his crown. It suits the king sitting on his throne, clear, better than his crown suits him. It suits the king better than his crown, clear. The crown, because the crown that is worn by a king does not look as graceful on his head as the quality of mercy does in his heart. His scepter show the force of temporal power, the attribute of awe and majesty. His scepter, children, it is a rod that the kings hold. You might have seen in the movies or somewhere that the king hold a rod in their hand, and that rod, it symbolizes power, it symbolizes authority. Fine. So what you're saying? His scepter shows the force of temporal power. Temporal means earthly. Clear? The scepter, the golden rod of authority in the hands of the king, it is the indication of his earthly power. It is a symbol of his force, or the force of the earthly power. The attribute to awe and majesty. Clear? His scepter symbolizes earthly power, which is the main characteristics. Clear? The attribute means characteristics, which is the main characteristics of the king, of the majesty. Clear? Who commands power and grandeur. Clear? People are afraid of the king and are scared of them because of that rod of authority. Clear? The scepter, that is a symbol of the earthly power, and it gives rise to the fear in the heart of the human beings. Wherein doth sit and dread and fear of king, this rod of authority, clear, that the king hold in his hand, it is a symbol of fear, clear, which the kingship inspires in other. But mercy is above this scepter sway. Sway means power. But mercy is something higher and greater than this worldly authority, than this earthly power, which is symbolized by this rod. It is enthroned in the heart of the king. It sits in the heart of the king. It stays in the heart of the king. Mercy occupies a lofty place in the heart of the kings. It is an attribute to God himself. Attribute means quality. It is a quality that belongs to God himself. Right? It is a divine quality. An earthly power doth then show likest God when mercy seasons justice. It is an earthly power doth then show likest God when mercy seasons justice. Means she says that earthly power acquires the divine quality when a man softens the rigorous of the demand of justice by showing mercy, when the justice is seasoned with mercy, when the justice is moderate with mercy, clear, then the earthly power becomes divine. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. So she said, therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this. Though Just keep in mind while demanding justice that though your demand is for justice, clear? Though your request is for justice, but think that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. That if your demand is fulfilled, then none of us will see salvation. Clear? None of us will be free from sin. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer that teaches us all to render the deed of mercy. We all pray God, we all pray to God for mercy, and that same prayer that teaches us all to render deed of mercy, and the very fact that we do so teach, we pray for mercy to God, and that very prayer, the same prayer that teaches us to do the deeds of mercy, to do the kind deeds. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea. I have said this much to diminish the force of your demand, to reduce the force of your demand for strict justice, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must need give sentence against the merchant here. If you still insist on your demand, clear? If you still insist on your demand of pound of flesh, this strict court of Venice must need give sentence against the merchant. The strict court of Venice has no choice but to pronounce a judgment against the merchant standing there. Shylock, my deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond. He said, my deeds upon my head. So I will take the responsibility for what I am doing. Clear? I myself will face the consequences. I crave for law. I ask for law. I ask for justice. The penalty and forfeit of my bond. I request you to enforce the law and let me have the penalty specified in my bond, which Antonio has forfeited. Portia, is he not able to discharge the money? Now Portia asks, is the merchant not able to repay the debt? So before Shylock could speak something, Bassanio stood up from his seat and said, yes, here I tender it for him in the court. Yes, twice the sum. He said, yes, here I tender it for him in the court. So yes, he is able to do so. Here is the money which I am willing to offer to the Jew in the court on Antonio's behalf. Indeed, I am ready to offer the twice the amount. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times over on forfeit of my hands, my head, and my heart. And if that double amount is not sufficient to satisfy the Jew, I would be prepared to give away my hands, my head, and my heart. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bear down truth, and if even that is not sufficient to satisfy the Jew, I am ready to give my life on Antonio's behalf, and even that is not sufficient to satisfy the Jew, then the obvious reason must be that the Jew's ill will towards the merchant is greater than any honest reason. Clear, for which he is asking for his penalty. And I beseech you, rest once the law of your authority, to do a great right, to do a little wrong, and corrupt this cruel devil of his will. And I beseech you, rest once the law of justice. Rest means twist. So, I request you, I entreat you to bend the law once, to do great right, do a little wrong, and corrupt the cruel devil of his will. Clear? I request you to bend the law and use your authority in this case in order to save the merchant, in order to save Antonio. Do a little wrong by deviating from the legal requirement in order to perform a deed that is morally right. Clear? Commit the slight irregularity to do a great act of justice and corrupt this cruel devil of his will and prevent this heartless fellow from carrying out his desire. Alright, so children, just revise it till here. Rest we will do tomorrow. Thank you.